What's up? It's your boy Mean Joe Green, aka Prince of the Ghetto. Y'all, this video here, I just want to throw a positive message out there with this one. I just want to put some positive energy through the algorithms and just, because, on social media, there's always a lot of negativity. So, I know the positive videos don't get much clicks, but I'm just going to push it through the algorithm anyway to let people know it's positivity out in the world. But what I want to say on this one is I'm sure everyone, when you went to school, had a favorite teacher. Whether you was in elementary, junior high, high school, college, you had a teacher that if you think about school and the teachers, you got a favorite teacher that you have a lot of memories with, that you can be like, oh yeah, that's my teacher, Mr. Mrs., you know what I'm saying? And Michael Jordan just, revisit his high school favorite teacher. And she's on her deathbed. She was dying, and she said that her final wish, she want to FaceTime Michael Jordan, her student from back in the days, And Michael Jordan called whipped and he FaceTime. And I could just imagine, the memories that came amongst both of them, especially Michael Jordan. He this billionaire now, this famous basketball player, my favorite basketball player of all time. And he get to revisit his childhood teacher. And I could just picture that, put myself in Michael Jordan's shoes, like, damn, this was my teacher when I didn't have nothing. Now I'm famous and big, and she reaching out to me. And this was my favorite teacher. So I can imagine all the memories came upon him, when he was talking to her. Whether he was, watching cartoons, it took him back to his childhood, And that's that memory in life that you get to look back, that feeling come up on you that you like. You be like, yeah, that was the good times, you know what I'm saying? And he got to experience that with his favorite teacher while she's on her deathbed. And I say that to say, like I say, I know all of y'all watching had a favorite teacher. And one of my favorite teachers was this lady named Miss Terrell. She was a white woman, but I'm talking about she had the heart of gold. I'm talking about never really raised her voice, never threw out negative energy, always positive, always trying to help. She was that teacher. And the memory that I have from her, I remember, this elementary school. I remember when my mother signed me up, it was like the first week of school. And when we went to lunch, my mother didn't fill my lunch paper out so that I could eat lunch. So I couldn't get lunch like everybody else. So the lady that was giving out the lunch gave me a milk and some crackers. A little small pack of crackers and a little milk, And my teacher, Miss Terrell, saw that and said, hold on, no. She paid for my lunch. You know what I'm saying? And she paid for my lunch for 3 days in a row until my mother got the paper right and it went through. And she never, looked down upon nobody. She was just one of them genuine teachers, man. A genuine person. And back in the day, it was a lot of teachers, because those teachers was older. There was a lot of teachers, man. They were genuine, man, and they really wanted to help. They really wanted to teach, And that teacher there, when I look back at my school years, I have to say that she was one of my favorite teachers when I think about schooling. So, I don't know where she at these days or nothing like that, but I could just, feel Michael Jordan, what he going through with his favorite teacher. And Jordan FaceTime, I saw the picture and they put up a little clip. And you know, he was smiling. As I watched him, I said, yeah, he going back in time before the basketball, you know. And you know, back in the day, it's always the best times. You know what I'm saying? Because those memories, you know, you can't get them back. You living. It's like back in the days is always better than now. Because it seemed easier back then than now. Cause it's like now, you know, everybody have problems. You know, the older you get, it's like, damn, you have kids, you got responsibilities, you got bills, you know, you got to go to work. Life is a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And when you get a chance to think about your childhood, you know, you might think about all the childhood shows that they don't show anymore. That was about family. You know, and those was the good times, man. And you under your mother, you didn't have a care in the world. All we had to do as a child was just have fun, go to school, hang with our friends. You know, it don't get no better than that. That's why I always stress to these kids, man, enjoy your childhood, man. Y'all young ones, stop trying to be grown. You don't have a clue what it's like trying to be grown. The responsibilities that you got to take on. As long as you under 18, man, enjoy your life. Just go to school to set yourself in position to be better in life. But while you living it, enjoy it, man. Enjoy it, because I'm telling you, when you get older, that moment when you look back, you want to have something to look back on that you can be like, man, that's something that you love. These young kids gonna look back and be like, damn, they gonna look back on more trouble. The rate that they going, cause they know everything. They on the internet now. They can see everything grown-ups can see. But it is these youngsters, they thinking they grown at a young age. But I'm telling y'all, when y'all get older in them 30s and 40s, and that moment you want to look back at that childhood, that's a good feeling. You go to be like, man, them was the days, man. Y'all ain't gonna have that memory. Y'all ain't gonna really have that moment. That's the moment they're gonna make you getting older worthwhile. You can have stories to tell your children, your nieces and nephews, you know, the young ones. But these little jits now, man, I guess they looking back now when they was 4 or something. I don't know, but they want to be grown so bad that, I mean, that memory, that moment, they will never have, man. When you look at the sunshine and look back, man, that's what make life worth living, man. Knowing that those good days existed and you lived it. And sometimes you might, you know, can reminisce and do some of those things that make you feel good at that moment while you old, you know. So, you know, I just wanted to throw some positivity out there, man. Shout out to Michael Jordan, man, for making his teacher last wish come true. You know, I'm sure it took him back. I'm sure his heart melted. He had a heartwarming moment. And you know, we need those moments in life, man. That the positive. We need that good, man. Sometimes, because there's so much evil and so much bad that once people see good, some people think that don't really exist anymore. When in reality, it really do. It's just what you choose to do and how you go about it. And you know, Michael Jordan took the time out his billionaire schedule to think about what my favorite high school teacher. Hell yeah, he FaceTimed. You know, because he knew that was the memory. That right there is the moment. I still love that. Nothing can take that memory away from when you was a child, your good old days. Nothing will take that. No amount of money, no fame or nothing. That's what you come from. That's what you live. That's the feeling that you know that life. That's what helped me get where I'm at now. I got to respect it. I got to go back in time. I got to give her that moment, you know. And I heard reports that she passed away. You know, and this just happened. She was on her deathbed. And reports say that she passed away. And I'm just thinking like, how the hell Michael Jordan feeling right now? He got to, chop it up with his favorite high school teacher, and he fulfilled her last wish. And look where he at now to when she was teaching him when he really didn't have nothing, was a nobody. So, shout out to Michael Jordan, man. I just wanted to throw this positive message out there, man. If y'all feel this shit, man, like the video, man. And if you ain't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to it. Because I'm coming back with some more flavor. And it's all good, man. Y'all young ones, enjoy your childhood, man. Enjoy your youth. Be a kid. I'm telling you some real spill. Be a kid, because once you become an adult, those problems that come with it, you're going to wish you was a kid. It's your boy, man, Joe Green. Love. I'm about